Okay, I am going to start the recording right now. I can pause it when need be because we want to keep it as short and concise as possible for training purposes. So this is for Cardinale Automotive EaseCentral enrollment, and this is from the employee's point of view. So what I'm doing is I'm using a test employee that we already used yesterday during one of our tests. And by the way, I added three more. There's a test employee 1, a test employee 2, and a test employee 3, and they're all in the logins that I already provided Dave. So if you need to go back in there and check other stuff, you can and use those test employees. For this one, we already, when you go to the URL for the company, the first thing it's going to pull up is a welcome, please log in. If it's the first time that they're logging in, you're going to put the user ID in and the temporary password that we provided you. Once you put in that temporary password, you can slide the computer over to the employee, and the employee can then put in their official password before they continue. Since we did this yesterday, it will not ask me to do that again because we already put in a password yesterday, which, by the way, if you want to use this employee, it was capital P for password, so PASSWORD, the number 1, and an exclamation point. And that's what we used for this test employee, the one that says test. This is what the employee sees right away, and I know you'll be sitting right next to them. I'll say, hello, John Doe, ready to start your enrollment, and you'll click start. Right away, the profile screen pulls up. And just know that when you get to the summary part of this, if certain required fields are not filled in, it will ask you to go back and fill them in. So yesterday, we got to the summary and for a work phone number. If somebody doesn't have a put in a fake 555-5555. One of the other things we decided to leave in there was whether they're a tobacco user or not. So that's probably one other item. You'll have to select yes or no. But if you start with that employee right off the bat and you go through the profile, most likely if you fill everything in, that's everything on the back summary. Profile for a test. We got this person's a male, single, not a tobacco user, contact information. By the way, the employment information will have their job title, but and it's interesting because I didn't notice this before. Kaiser arbitration agreement.
We went and agreed to that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
perfect, because I did today. Case, this employee does not have any dependent documents. So the Kaiser person,
Right.
Yeah. I'm clicking on this as well. Medicare, it's not benefits. Okay, this is the screen for every, where they're going to, waive or enroll in a benefit. In this case, everybody's going to have 4 options: dental, vision, and MetLife Term Life. MetLife Term Life, start with this one first, is based on class. And since we already have this in the computer, it should automatically pull up. If they're a regular employee, it's 10,000. If they are a manager, it's like 15 or 25. I'm not sure off the top of my head. And then if they are an executive, it's like 50.
Right.
So automatically, everybody will have this. So just make sure to go here and click enroll. And it'll say what they have, 10,000. And you'll see the premium per pay period is 0. Vision, up here it says waived. If the employee did not want to waive the vision and change their mind and wanted to enroll, click enroll. There's only one option of vision, so it's either they waive it or take it. It's not like they have a choice of 3 different vision coverages. And here are some just like benefit materials regarding the vision that you can click on as well. It's $3.65. So we clicked enroll, that's already done. And it still says here, and remember, this is all per pay period based on 24 deductions. I know this particular account might, some people might have 26 pay periods, but Cardinale is only deducting 24 times per year, so this is all based off of semi-monthly 24 deductions. Dental, right now it's waived, but if the employee wanted to enroll in dental, again, only one option. And this is where, Dave, Brian, you can double check the figures, but I think we actually did for Corona yesterday and everything kind of came out right.
Can you go back up to where it says enrolled and click on waived? So just so everybody knows, if they click on waived, we have to put a reason on that second drop-down bar. That can't be left blank, so it has to be a reason that they're dropping or not participating. So if we don't put anything in that box, it won't let us go to the next screen.
And the good news is it gives you a lot of options. So if the person just decides, I just don't want it, or it costs too much, you can do that. Cost, too much, too expensive, I don't want it. They just want to know why. Medical, it'd be the same thing. Right now we enrolled them. They had 4 options. At Corona, the 3 Kaiser options, the North Cal Corona Kaisers, and they had the Cigna 2500 PPO option.
And we are going to load that document. That document's not loaded yet, so it'll be in there today. The Cigna 2500 open access benefit summary.
Yeah. And that link will then be in blue, kind of like the Kaiser one's on, and you can click on it during the enrollment if somebody wants to know the breakdown of that particular plan. For future, and this is just a side note, there is this show comparisons button. So if we had more information that was pulled through via a form, or you had enough time to manually input it, this is kind of a cool little feature to have, especially if you're having more than, 1, 2, or 3, and they can do a side-by-side. It doesn't matter for Cigna because it's only the one plan. There's nothing compared to the options. So it would have done a side-by-side, but for like another account later on down the line, you do have that option to do a show comparisons. But for right now, if they want to know what, $10 office visit one consisted of, there you go. Click on the link. They want to change and say, nah, I decided I want to go with Cigna, just check the box. And if they decide they want to waive altogether, just scroll back up to the top, click on waive, and then select the reason. I'm on the plan.
Holden with Cigna. Can I ask a quick question? Is the show comparisons, is that going to be, so in the case of Las Vegas and Arizona locations, the local
it's
plus
not really
would
filled out,
pop up?
so you're not going to use this for Cardinale, because you can see it only has information. If I had it, I kind of put some stuff in there, but it's really not enough to do a real comparison. But
to answer your question, Holden,
yes.
It's set up specifically so that the plans that have, like for example, if she logged into an employee in Phoenix, you would see 2 choices. You'd see local and open access.
Okay,
so
thank you.
It's been drilled down by location. So we've got that part figured out as far as what plans are available in each location. So you wouldn't see Kaiser in those locations at all. You just see 2 Cigna plan options.
Yeah, this has been built out, and I'll give you an idea so you can see. This is the broker's portal, and I'm a visual person, so maybe it'll be a little bit if you saw how every version. So only the employees that are eligible for that plan will see that plan. So under eligibility, this particular plan is only going to be visible to Bakersfield. If you go to another benefit, let's see, Kaiser eligibility, North Cal and SoCal Corona and North Cal plus Kaiser will be able to, sorry, my other line's bleeping in. So regardless of, you know, where the employee is, they're only going to see the benefits that are offered to them. And what I would do is this employee, all the test employees, because I put in basic information, have Corona, because we were doing Corona right away. But all you have to do is change their location. So you can change the test employee to, you know, one of the other divisions, and benefit counselor who's out in field right now with an EaseCentral case, probably calling for help, so I do apologize. I'll try to figure out to tell her that I'm on a go-to meeting, or she's going to have to wait. So on your next test employee, if you wanted to, you can change where that employee is so you can see the benefits for that particular location. And my recommendation would be right before you go out to a location, make that test employee based on the employee. And you guys, I'm going to pause the go-to-meeting real quick. I told them they're just going to have to wait. So that would be my recommendation is when the next location comes up, make that test employee for that location. So one, you can verify that all the plans that you're offering at that location are showing, and then also so you can verify the rates and make sure and cross-check my work that all the rates are pulling up correctly. And if you can, do this like a day or two before, so if, God forbid, you run into a problem or there's a plan not showing or there's a rate that's incorrect, this way you can let me know right away. So next would be beneficiaries.
Now, Ronnie, can you go back to that benefits button? If we just went over to the top and hit the next button, is it going to automatically drop us the beneficiaries?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, actually, first it's going to go through all these plans here.
Okay.
It's going to go through, and once you get to the very bottom, then it'll go to beneficiaries.
Okay.
So you can use either button on EaseCentral. It doesn't matter. It's just personal preference. I happen to use these, but the average person might do next. And here's the Add Beneficiary button. Yesterday, we already added a test wife, and we put in the primary at 100%. But that's how you do it. You just click Add Beneficiary and put the beneficiary. If there's more than one, or if you want to add dependent children, you can do that as well.
Okay.
Because it lets you do a secondary. You just want to make sure it totals 100%. Next button would be coverages, the previous and current. This will not apply to Cardinale because we do not have any previous or current coverages in there. This is brand new from here going forward. This is if you guys had to do some kind of like insurance, evidence of insurability. It'd be in here, but this is not for this particular account. Sign forms. Here's where you could electronically do a really bad signature. And then it'll show you this person's enrollment summary. Now, if you did have something in the profile that was missing, like a phone number or any required fields, an error will pop up, and you'll just have to, and it'll tell you what it is. It'll tell you what's missing. It'll tell you the phone number is missing, an address is missing, whatever is missing. You just go back to the profile, and you add that information. In this case, everything was already in here. This is the employee's enrollment summary, or what some of us call enrollment election forms. And you can just print it for the employee and give them a copy.
Dave, are we going to have printers there?
I'm sure we're going to have a way to access a printer that will all use a Wi-Fi copy. If not, can I batch print these later, Ronnie? Can I go into that division and print out each person's election form?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
And what it does is the best way to do it would be to save it to a PDF, and that's what normally I would provide HR, is a batch print.
Okay.
So on the back end, when you do a spreadsheet, you can, EaseCentral is really easy. It gives you a lot of different options on a lot of different spreadsheets and how you want to collect the information. And for purposes of your carriers, you're going to be putting most of that on an Excel spreadsheet. So your
Right.
carriers can put, upload it into their system. And then for the enrollment summaries, you just go to the enrollment summaries, and I can show you where that's at. And you can just batch print, save it to a PDF, and then just send it encrypted to that location.
Okay.
And because we
so
built
the finish
out,
button?
because we rock,
Okay.
and then that employee's finished. And then all you do is go back into Cardinale Way at EaseCentral.com, put in the next user ID and password, and do for the next employee. I did want to show you one item here on the portal. Got plenty of reports here. And I can show you later on where to go to pull certain reports. But also, some of you might not know the big breakdown that we did on this group. And this will help in your reporting as well. We have it broke down by location, by division, and by the way, division is what pulls through the benefits being offered, not location. It's divisions. So Arizona division will only pull up Arizona benefits. Las Vegas will only pull up Las Vegas benefits, and so on. And then for the group term life, that is based on classes. Again, we had a full census. Each employee was designated either regular manager or executive. They were designated what division they were part of. So that employee will only show those benefits and that amount of group term life that's eligible to them. Does anybody have any questions about this?
That's pretty similar to playing out.
Yeah. The only question I have that might come up, I'm certain when we're out there, is an employee is going to walk up that somehow did not make the spreadsheet that Teresa provided to us. So to add a new employee, and we simply go to
do it from the portal.
Okay.
Go right to your portal, the pcb.eCentral. Click on employees. Go to the green actions button. Add an employee. And this is where you add them. Once you're finished, though, you need to be able to create a login for them. So you're going to go into logins. You're going to search for that employee. And once you pull them up, you're going to, generate an Excel document. And if it's only one employee, it's going to say one employee on Excel document. And then that's going to look exactly, now I made yours look a little bit nicer, but it's going to sort of look like this. But it'll only have the one employee here. All you need to know is their username and their password for that new employee.
Okay. And that will be something that Abby will be doing up here while we're down there. If we run into a handful of employees, we'll just shoot her an email, and we'll have her do that and then send us a spreadsheet so we can meet with those employees and get those sign-ins going.
Okay. By the way, EaseCentral is very sensitive with when it comes to what information could be plugged in by what person. Abby will be able to put in anything into that employee's field, employment, like salary, address. But when you're in the employee side, some of those fields you cannot. So just make sure that Abby has enough information, especially employment information, like what location, what class of employee, their salary. Make sure that's all in there, because that will not be an option for some of those items for you to put in the employee's profile screen. And they do that intentionally because you don't want employees going in there and making themselves a manager if there was self-enroll, or, giving themselves a nice raise and now they're making $200,000. So that access is kind of restricted to the HR level, to either the admin access or the broker portal. So just make sure Abby has as much information as possible to plug in for that employee, and then generate that, login for that employee, and then you guys can continue as normal. Any questions about that? Abby, do you have any questions about where the logins are or where you need to go to pull that?
No, I've been importing employees for other companies, and I've set up test employees myself as well.
Okay, you know where that is. Okay.
Yeah, so I know how to get logins for people if I have all the data we need.
Perfect. So it's just a matter of them providing you with the right data, and then she can plug it in, send you guys the username, the temporary password, and then you can call that employee back in.
Okay, great. And then we'll be able to refer back to that graphic that'll show us, at the end of each day, what percentage of people we have done and who's still outstanding. So we'll be able to follow up with them.
Yeah, the first time you click into a group, when you go from companies, usually that's when that pulls up right there.
Okay.
Because it's under benefits, and you might, a lot of times you click on benefits, the plans show up, but right here is also a button called progress. That's another way you can get to that same screen.
All right,
so if you're not sure, just back out of the company and back in, and this will pull up. And it'll show you who's not started, who's in process, and who's finished. And a lot of times you'll be surprised at how many are in process but have not finished. Maybe because you couldn't finish because you didn't fill out all the profile stuff. But when you hit finish and those 4 stars come up like it did for that test employee, you'll know for sure if it's absolutely completed or if it's missing information. Because it'll still say in progress. Now, you can push it through from the HR side and finish an employee for them, but I recommend, you have the employee, if they have to sign anything whatsoever, make sure it's finished by the employee, not by HR or by you.
Okay. So, this looks good. Just so you guys know, we're going to be talking about Kaiser, the FSA, and the life insurance after your presentation. We're going to let you guys launch your stuff first, and then we'll follow up with that. We're bringing extra laptops and tablets just so we have those available. We have 2 laptops and a tablet that will allow employees to use. And then I think Genevieve's trying to figure out if we have a video capabilities and what kind of printing we'll be able to do while we're there as well. So I think we're in pretty good shape at this point.
Can I make one recommendation? EaseCentral prefers Google Chrome. So when you're on your laptops, make sure your browser's Chrome.
Okay, great.
Any other questions?
Good for me.
And you guys have that list of logins. So there's, remember, 3 more test employees that, haven't been touched yet that are going to probably need the same profile information that we added to ours, like the phone number and the smoker, non-smoker. Those things have to be answered before you can finish. So you can use that to run through an employee where you might run into that issue as a test. And I would also use those, and I can always create more for you, or Abby can, about a day or 2 prior to each other location that you go out to. So you can just test, again, the benefits to make sure that they're the correct benefits for that location and also the correct rates.
Okay, great.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the recording now.